1.
So this month we have Patient Appreciation Day that's coming up later in the month. Check the calendar for it so you can get all of the details and be ready for Patient Appreciation Day. Now, Patient Appreciation Day is one of our favorite days here for our team in the clinic, simply because we love our patients. And with that being said, we wanted to take a moment and just share a really cool story with you guys about a particular patient. So Dr. John actually is going to tell you guys a little bit more about that. Who was the patient?
Are we allowed to say names?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're allowed to say first name.
Okay, so his name is Brody, and he came in, just struggling mainly with migraines. And there's a number of reasons that can cause them, from anywhere from a tumor in the brain to just simple misalignment of the bones, chronic stress, and tightness of the muscles. You name it. And
You related really well with him because
well, I struggle with migraines on at one point in time it was weekly basis, and they're the kind of things that you lay down in the shower, just have hot water, puke, and try to crawl into bed, and they last usually about a day, a little more. To one point, I had an 8-day migraine, lost 15 pounds, prayed that God would end my life because I couldn't deal with it. And sure enough, chiropractic is the thing that stopped it.
That's awesome.
And so, now anytime I have a migraine, boom, make sure we get adjusted. And for me, it's a very specific adjustment, and it's actually the same thing for Brody.
Real quick, for Brody, do you remember how long he had been dealing with migraines?
I believe since he was a young teen, from 12 to 15, somewhere in there, is when he started getting them pretty bad.
And he came to see us kind of as like last straw.
Yeah, and we talked about it, and it really is something that you can't live like that. It gets to a point where it's overwhelming, and you try to do things to self-medicate it and try and get rid of them by any means necessary.
Yeah, because it's not about the pain necessarily at that point. It's about how it interferes with your function in life.
Right, and what is
Like
what is a
can't
life that
do
you
anything.
can't live in?
Yeah.
And it's not.
So for Brody, what was his particular structure issue?
So, for a lot of migraines, not every single one, but for most chronic migraines, it's when your second cervical vertebra, right up here at the base of the neck, gets caught in flexion. So a lot of the times it's stemmed from looking down.
That's like a librarian pose almost. Like imagine someone wearing glasses and they're like looking
over
over
the
the
rims of their
glasses
glasses
the whole time, and it gets stuck like that, but you often don't even know.
Right.
Right.
And it ends up making the muscles right around the very base of your skull and the top of your neck really, really tight. They're called your suboccipital muscles. They get extremely tight.
So it jams this all together in the top part of the neck because of the chronic tension with the muscles locking up there.
Right.
So for Dr. John, similar, almost the exact same structural issue. That bone gets stuck in flexion, so we actually have to adjust that bone back down.
Right. Pretty uncomfortable when it happens, and if you have a migraine, sometimes I've thrown up like immediately right after. But the good thing about it is it's almost immediate in its response to the nature of what the migraine brings, which is a pulsating, just head pounding, ocular dysfunction.
You got light sensitivity, aura involved with that. Loud noises increase the intensity of the pain for high-pitched noises. And it's because all of those nerves stem from that upper area of your neck where the muscles lock it all up and that bone gets stuck in flexion.
Yep.
So for Brody,
Yep.
he was at what point in his life really when he started?
So this is, later, so he was a young adult in his late 20s, mid 20s. Coming in and just out of options, right? You try to get on different types of medications which ultimately make you have to quit other things, like not be able to do things outside, as far as like mow your lawn, go on hikes, like anything outside. You're completely at what am I trying to say here, but
The precipice of destruction.
Yeah.
You could say it that extreme,
And you're constantly like, oh crap, am I gonna get this migraine? Can I even do these things? So, with that said, like we sat together and I was just like, look, there is hope. He's, like, okay, well, we'll see. I'm hopeful. I'm excited to see what happens. And within the first week, we saw, decrease in frequency.
So how often the headaches are happening?
And decrease in severity, how bad they were.
Right.
Now it took, over a six or so month, 6 month period to really see these things, almost at a point where you're surprised that they're coming. Or even if they did, it was, half a day. And if he gets in, we can kick it to the curb.
Yeah. So it took him that long to get to a point of stability where that C2 bone would actually start to stay.
Right.
Which was the underlying structure issue for his migraine, and then his migraines started getting to the point where he just wasn't having them anymore at all. Which, talk about night and day difference. To be going from dealing with 3 migraines a week to maybe once a month or once every other month is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people don't realize that chiropractic care is beneficial for headaches and migraines, but it's actually one of the @1 therapeutic approaches for
Stopping them.
Stopping migraines.
And
stopping headaches.
Not keeping them, at bay for a period of time, but stopping them to a point where you are, surprised when they come. And for me, like, if they come, I'm like, well, I haven't had one in 4 months, and I'm like, that's whatever. So obviously,
and you've learned to recognize too with your body, like when you can feel it starting to come on, boom, I got to get adjusted. And if I don't get this taken care of now, it progresses.
It's going to be a waste of a day.
So, so for Brody, why is that one of your favorite patient testimony stories?
Well, I mean, for my ability to kind of relate to that is one of them, but number 2 is just coming into the office in a point of almost just desperation. And we literally sat there and cried happy tears after he got his life back. And that's what we want, is we want to see you guys be able to experience this life that we have here, so that we can bring kingdom come, right? And instead of just trying to survive to the end. And we want you guys thriving. So
Brody's test ends up being one of our favorite testaments. A testament to healing and what's possible. And that's the thing, is he had been dealing with it for years, and he was at the point where he didn't think anything was going to help and anything was going to work. So it's never too far gone to start taking appropriate action to see the healing take place. And that's one of my favorite things about that entire story, is the fact that you guys have the exact same structure issue, the exact same symptoms, more or less, roughly the same age, and that chiropractic care having benefited you, you get to be full circle on the other end of it now as the practitioner, the doctor, being able to help someone else deal with that same exact struggle and overcome it. So Patient Appreciation Day, one of our favorite days. We love our patients. We treat them like family. We cry with our patients. So if you know someone else that has headaches, migraines, you can actually feel free to bring them to the office for Patient Appreciation Day. They don't have to be a patient for us to celebrate them and hopefully see if we can help them as well. Love you guys.